Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea, a channel about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. We talk about a lot of topics involved with dating and relationships with a woman from another country. Today I want to talk about honoring your Filipino wife. I want people to get married and stay married, and so I'll talk to you about some things I try to implement myself. Please subscribe. I've got many videos on TikTok and YouTube and so on to try to get the word out here. Let's talk about one reason before I even get into that you need to do to honor your wife, and that is to treat her well so that your prayers are not hindered. And this comes from 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife as the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So if you don't honor your wife, you will be hindering your own prayers. That means God will just basically pretend not to hear them. Now, I have personally experienced answered prayer many times that I consider came from a God who knows me and understands me completely, and it felt good. But here I need to know how I treat my wife matters very much to God, and the failure to be considerate and honor for her position and performance in my life will result in God deciding not to grant a request or to put it on hold. In another place in the Bible, it says God will not hear us if we have some unrepentant sin in our life. So that's very important to remember. Now, 12 things, at least here on this list, that comes from a place on the internet. If I still have the link, I'll put it on there on YouTube, but this is not my list. I have many links, places where it could have come from. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but I hope you agree with me on these points here, how to honor your wife. You can do this. Number one, speak to her kindly. So if I speak harshly with my wife, that will come back to hurt me and hurt us. Speaking kindly to her will make it easier for her to respect me, which a wife is supposed to do. It's going to be hard if he doesn't talk to her well. Number two, do not discuss her weaknesses with others. A lot of practical things here. And so how you don't talk to others about her can be a way of honoring her. Remember, we're one flesh. Ephesians 5:31, the Bible says, and they say here from this source, when you talk trash about your wife, you might as well be saying it about yourself. That's a very interesting way to look at it. Don't demean your wife to other people. And the third point they list that I'm just commenting on, show interest in her projects. This honors her. Show interest in what she is interested in. And the guy mentioned it doesn't matter to him if it's sewing or something that doesn't interest him at all. He needs to honor her by taking an interest in it. What I try to do, among some ways, other ways, is if my wife just kind of takes something that we're not using for something and she finds a use for it, like we had a bird feeder that we don't use, and then she made a cell phone holder for it. I don't know if we even still have it, but the point is, she made that, and I told her, that's very creative, hon, and hopefully we're still using that. But whatever my wife is interested in, I try to take an interest in it too. Whatever it is. It could be something big, like when you have a baby, or maybe it's buying a house or going to school. I mean, those are pretty big things. Maybe it's something with her job. Maybe it's a place she wants to go. Whatever it is, I want to know what it is so I can just ask her about it, keep up with her about it, and show her that, hon, I know this is interesting to you, but I care as well. For example, her family. Now, that's not a project, but you shouldn't go long periods of time without knowing what's going on back in the Philippines. Number four, do not ask her to view inappropriate images, which was on their list. Number five, speak highly of her to your children. If you have children, teach them to respect their mother. Now, we don't have children, but if we did, I would most definitely do this. and let them know how important she is and how valuable she is, and that they must do what she says. Number 6, way to honor your wife: learn her likes and dislikes. Now, this kind of sounds like you would just take it for granted. Of course you would do that, but, not always. I mean, sometimes we guys can get so wrapped up in our things, and we get married, and then we stop kind of learning about her. But you always should keep learning about her wife, her likes and her dislikes, and then try to remember them. Moving on, number 7, learn her joys and sorrows. So you should be able to anticipate different situations with her. She's not going to like this, or she is going to like that, or she wants me to start making rice if she runs out before she goes to work, and have some new rice when she gets back. Little things. Could be anything. Learn her joys and sorrows. Number 8, do not demean her health situations. That was on the list. The only thing I can say personally that would relate to that, my wife doesn't really do a good job of taking, she goes to the doctor and they prescribe something. I don't know why, she just doesn't like to take it. Or she wants me to go buy her some vitamin D or vitamin E or vitamin C or something, and then she doesn't end up taking it. So anyway, I do need to keep working on her with that. Number 9, remember her special days. I still remember our month series. I wrote them down: 17, 4, 25, 26, and 10. Let's say 17 would have been the day that I either first met her or had our first chat. I'm not sure. Might have been. It was a first, maybe when I first met her. 4th, that's when I proposed to her in person. 25th, that's when I first arrived in the Philippines, a short time later to meet her. 26th, that's the next day when I proposed to her in person, gave her the ring. And then 10, that one is for our wonderful wedding day. Number 10, tell her what she means to you. What woman doesn't want to hear that? You honor her by reminding her what she means to you. Be as specific as you can, I would recommend. 11, tell her specific things she does that encourage you. For example, when I was working, my wife liked to pick out clothes for me. So in her words, I wasn't wearing rags when I went to work because it makes her look bad, Filipina. If you go to work, you're around people and you look sloppy, she says that makes her look like she can't take care of you. Now, if you get too skinny, it makes her look like she can't feed you and take care of her. So tell her specific things she does that encourage you. Please leave comments. List some things here that you might identify with today. Number 12, do not treat her as a servant. We've talked about that many times. Don't control her. She's not your child or employee. She's not your slave. In fact, as a husband, we are to model Jesus, who came to serve, not to be served. 13, do not compare her to other women. That's another big one. I think I've made a video about that. Pointing out how another woman dresses or what another woman does for her husband is one of the fastest ways, they say here, to demotivate and wound your wife. If you feel the need to talk to her about something like this, you'll need to be very tactful about comparing her to another woman in any way. And we got maybe 2 more. 14, make sure she has immediate access to you. It's not honoring if she can't find you or you won't respond to a text. And that goes both ways. And the last one here, number 15, a way to honor your Filipino wife. These things will help her to respect you and make your marriage strong, is be accountable with your schedule. And reading from my source here today, if you honor and respect someone, you'll let them know what's going on. And they say, this is me, I guess. I want to know if my wife is going to be late, for example, from work, most likely, and where she is. Not because I suspect her of cheating, do something wrong on me, but because I want to know she's safe. So stay tuned for some more videos on marriage here on Love Beyond the Sea.